Last time, we talked about recognizing the patterns that keep repeating in our lives. The overthinking, fear, need for reassurance. The same emotional pain wearing different faces. But recognizing the pattern is only the beginning. Because after awareness comes a much quieter question. A question that can change the way you see yourself. Where did it begin? Not where did it become obvious. Where did it begin? We usually blame the most recent wound. When something hurts, the mind looks for the closest explanation. A person, a rejection, a moment. And sometimes that moment did hurt. But what if it hurt so deeply because it touched something that was already there? Think about it. Why can one delayed reply feel like abandonment to one person and just a minor inconvenience to another? Why can one disagreement feel like the end of it? Why can one mistake feel like proof that you're not enough? The reaction is happening in the present, but the root is often much older. The root is not always a memory. I used to think that if I couldn't find one big traumatic event, then my pattern must not be real. But healing taught me something different. Sometimes the root is not a storm. Sometimes it is a climate. Not one day of being unheard, but many small moments where your feelings were dismissed. Not one experience of being left, but repeatedly feeling emotionally uncertain. Not one criticism, but growing up believing that love becomes safer when you perform well. These experiences are easy to overlook because they do not always look dramatic. Yet they quietly teach the nervous system what to expect. And what the nervous system expects, the mind often searches for it. We repeat what once protected us. This is the part that changed everything for me. Many of our unhealthy patterns were once intelligent survival strategies. Overthinking may have been your way of staying prepared. People pleasing may have been your way of staying connected. And avoiding conflict may have been your way of staying safe. Needing reassurance may have been your way of reducing uncertainty or anxiety. As children, we do not choose these strategies consciously, we adapt. An adaptation can look a lot like personality. For years I thought this is just who I am. But healing forced me to ask harder questions. Is this my personality or is this a protection? That question is uncomfortable. Because if it is a protection, then underneath it there may be fear. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being too much. Fear of not being chosen. Fear of not being loved consistently. Why awareness can feel worse before it feels better? There is a strange stage of healing that nobody talks about. You start understanding yourself, and instead of feeling relieved, you feel overwhelmed. Because suddenly you can see the pattern everywhere. In your relationships, in friendships, silence, reactions, the way you read people, the way you wait, the way you worry. At first, this can feel like regression. It's not. You're not becoming more broken. You're becoming more aware of what was already happening. The pain feels louder because you're no longer running from it. The real healing begins when you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" For a long time, I asked, "What's wrong with me? Why am I like this?" Why do I react this way? Why can't I just be calm? But shame never healed the pattern. Understanding did. The question that helped me was not what's wrong with me. It was what happened to me that made this response feel necessary. Notice the difference. One question attacks the self. The other becomes curious about the wound. And curiosity is much gentler than shame. When you understand the root, you stop seeing yourself as a problem to fix. You begin seeing yourself as a person who learned certain responses for a reason. And if they were learned, they can be unlearned. Maybe healing is not about becoming a completely different person. Maybe it's about meeting the version of you who first learned to be afraid. The version who learned to overthink, to stay alert, to seek reassurance, to earn love, to protect a heart that did not yet know it was safe. So tonight, instead of asking, why do I keep repeating this pattern? Ask, when did I first learn that this pattern was necessary? That question may not give you an immediate answer, but it will take you closer to the root. And when you reach the root, something important happens. You stop fighting yourself and start understanding yourself. And sometimes that is the moment healing truly begins. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. So be gentle with yourself. And until next time, I'll see you on the next page.